Who took the bomb?
As promised yesterday, I said that I was going to do a video about my reactions to the 2012 Oscars, the 84th Oscars. I believe it's the 84th. Let me double check that. Yes, the 84th Annual Academy Awards. Nominations that have just been announced today on January 24th, Tuesday, of the nominations for the films that came out last year, 2011. I don't know exactly what to say about a lot of this. There's still a lot of these movies I haven't seen because a lot of them are limited release, and I'm not going to be able to see a lot of the major players until this weekend when I go to Salt Lake City to go to their independent theaters and stuff like that to snag some of these final movies that I'm still waiting to see. I do still have a good inkling, a good hunch of what's going to win. There are some categories I'm skipping as usual when I do these. Nobody gives a shit about sound mixing and sound editing. It's an important thing. Movies wouldn't exist without it, but nobody cares. And I'm not talking about the foreign films because I haven't seen any of them. I don't know anybody who's seen any of them, so I'm not really going to go into that either. Best achievement in music written for a motion picture, best original song. It's kind of funny because there's only 2 this year. Usually there's at least 3 to 5, and I think, and it's just a theory, but I think the reason they did this year is because they want to shorten the ceremony a little bit, so it's not 3+ hours long, and the best way to do that is nominate less songs so you have less performance in the ceremony. I don't know. Comment if you think that's what you think's going on, because I do. We have Bret McKenzie's song Man or a Muppet for the Muppets movie, and a song I don't know anything about because I didn't watch the movie is from Rio. It's the song Real in Rio. I hope that Bret McKenzie wins, and I think he has probably a good shot because I don't think Rio is as well regarded as the Muppets movie, and the Muppets movie came out later in the year, so it's still more fresh in people's minds. Man Over a Muppet is a great song. It's probably the best moment of that movie, and it'd be really fun to watch them perform that, and it would be maybe even more fun to watch Bret McKenzie do an acceptance speech. Of course, he's in Flight of the Conchords, so I hope that happens. Okay, now next I'm going to talk about art direction in a movie, if I can find the category. I'm looking at this on IMDb's homepage right now. Alright, and we have The Artist, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, Hugo, Midnight in Paris, and Warhorse. So a lot of nominated films, Best Picture nominations are in this category. I think it's going to go to The Artist. It's a very art-directed movie. I mean, it's black and white, it's a silent film, the whole thing is basically an exercise in style. So I think it probably has the best shot, and I'll go into that a little bit more later in the video. Best cinematography, we have The Artist, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Hugo, Tree of Life, and Warhorse. And for this one, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think it's going to go to Emmanuel Lubezki for Tree of Life. The cinematography is gorgeous. Whether you love the movie, you hate the movie, you can't deny how good the movie looks. And that's all because of that cinematography. It's just gorgeous, natural lighting, wonderful cinematography. And I think that's the bone they're going to throw for Tree of Life. A lot of people really like that movie, but it's not really going. I just don't think it's going to win. I mean, I can't really go into why. I mean, I have lots of reasons why I think it's not going to win. Mostly because it's sort of an overtly spiritual movie. Best animated film, I'm kind of skipping ahead. A Cat in Paris. Has anyone seen this movie? Has anyone even heard of this movie? it had to have like just come out or something, probably like the week before the year was over, and seen in 2 theaters all across America. Chico and Rita, which the only reason I really know about that movie is because Mark Kermode, the critic, the British critic, went crazy over this movie last year when it was released overseas. So, I mean, I suspect it's probably good. I don't know anything about it, really. It looks kind of like a love story, maybe something kind of similar to what was going on stylistically with The Illusionist last year. Kung Fu Panda 2, Puss in Boots, and Rango. Personally, I would give it to Rango. I really like that movie. I think it's, for my money, the best animated film of the year. It was the first movie that came out last year that was actually a good movie that I saw. Like, I went through a lot of early year crap, kind of like we're swimming through now. But Rango is the first, like, island of hope that the year might not completely suck. Puss in Boots, I had no interest in seeing. I'm sorry. I'm so done with Shrek. I can't even tell you how done with Shrek I am. Or any of its incarnations. I'm done. Done. Please stop, DreamWorks. Kung Fu Panda 2 I didn't see, because I haven't seen the first one. I suspect it's probably alright. I don't know. I'm not way into DreamWorks in general. So there you go. Basically, I'm thinking it's going to be Rango, and I'm a little surprised that the Winnie the Pooh movie wasn't nominated, because it was generally well received critically, and I think it did pretty well, didn't it? I don't know. I saw it on DVD way later. Best Adapted Screenplay. That's a pretty big award, so. The Descendants, Hugo, which the book is called Hugo Cabaret, which I think would have been a better movie title too, but not as catchy, I suppose. The Ides of March, which I'm a little surprised by because it wasn't a movie that did very well, and wasn't a movie that wasn't very well received critically. So I mean, there is a difference between the Critics Awards and the Academy Awards. Sometimes there is a divide there, but I'm just surprised that Ides of March got any love from the Oscars. Moneyball and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. There's a lot of pretty good nominations in here. And I want to say it's probably going to go to The Descendants. Because I feel like the 2 films that are really competing this year, there's always 2, that are really competing for most of the major awards. This year it's between The Descendants and The Artist. And The Descendants kind of swept the Golden Globes, and The Artist was they won the Best Musical Comedy category, which is stupid. So they kind of both won. But I feel like this is what they're going to give The Descendants. Okay, so the Best Original Screenplay nominations is The Artist, Bridesmaids? Really? Okay. Margin Call, which, again, kind of seems pretty random, considering, that movie sort of failed on arrival. I haven't seen it. I've heard mixed things, mostly positive, I guess, but just strange to me. Midnight in Paris by Woody Allen, and A Separation, which is another one of those kind of weird. They like to do this every once in a while with the original screenplays. They'll find sort of a beloved writer in Hollywood that hasn't had his due yet and nominate one of his movies that nobody saw. And that might be what's going on with Asghar Farhadi for A Separation. I think Midnight in Paris is going to win this category. Because it's been a long time since Woody Allen has done anything of note. And I think The Artist might get it, or Michael Hazanik. It's like a 14-syllable last name. Might get it for The Artist only because I suspect The Artist is going to sweep the Oscars this year. But I think they're going to give this one to Woody Allen because it's a very writerly movie. The whole movie's about writing, and he's very dialogue-driven and character-driven, and I think they're going to want to give it to him since it's been a long time since he's really deserved to even be on that stage. Alright. So now I'm going to go into the actors and actresses categories. And we'll start here with the best actress in a supporting role. And we have Berenice Bejo for The Artist, which is somebody... I'm going to see The Artist this weekend. I'm pretty excited to see it, but I'm a little upset that I'm making this video having not seen it yet. Jessica Chastain from The Help, which for me, that was the only performance in that movie that I thought was really worth anything. I'll go into that a little bit later. Melissa McCarthy for Bridesmaids. What? Bridesmaids, what are you doing up in this? You're done, Bridesmaids. You're done. I'm sorry. That movie's not that great. I feel like I saw a different movie than the rest of the world, because everyone's going on and on about how funny that movie was and how much of a classic comedy it is. Really, do you honestly think that if that was a cast full of men and they just changed it to brides grooms, well, I guess there was that movie with Ed Burns, but whatever. You know what I'm saying. Would anybody be talking about this movie nearly as much? No, they wouldn't. Janet McIntyre for Albert Nobbs. What? Like, I follow movies. This is something I do as a hobby, and I've never heard of this movie. And Octavia Spencer for The Help. Kind of a showy role as far as I'm concerned. I think she's kind of doing the sassy black lady thing, and I don't mean that in a racist way. It's just, that is what it is. She's playing sort of an archetype. She's playing kind of, the quotable sort of stand-up comedian almost kind of thing. And her role does sort of help the movie as far as making it more fun, but I don't think it's really anything special. I mean, we've seen that in sitcoms. Look up the TV show Martin. There was like 5 of those kind of performances in that show. Okay, so Best Actor in a Supporting Role. Kenneth Branagh for My Week with Marilyn. Jonah Hill for Moneyball, the Oscar-nominated Jonah Hill, which I'd actually think he deserves it. It's a really good supporting role. That is a Oscar-nominated supporting role kind of thing. He was in the movie for just the right amount of time to be called a supporting actor, and he's really good in it, surprisingly good. And it's kind of a turn for him doing a more serious kind of thing, but he does it well, and he doesn't overshadow the main performers, Brad Pitt. So I liked him a lot in that. Nick Nolte for Warrior, which, again, I think it's a little bit of a showy role. I think he did good. He did Nick Nolte. He's not a bad actor, but he kind of, and it has a lot to do with kind of how that screenplay is. He's kind of playing an archetype again, kind of something you would see in a TV movie, I think. But he did all right. It's sure, why not? And Christopher Plummer for Beginners, who I think will win. And Max von Sydow for Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. It's going to Christopher Plummer. He already got it for most of the major awards this year, the Critic Awards and the Golden Globes. So I think he's going to get it for the Oscars as well, and he deserves it. He's an older guy, so there's a little bit of that going on where they're nominating him because he might not be around for much longer. But he did do a really damn good job and made that movie something more. And made a part that could be an archetype and kind of lame. He made that really well. So actress in a leading role. We have Glenn Close for Albert Nobbs. What is this movie? I guess I need to look it up. I don't know. Viola Davis for The Help. Now, I've already kind of gone on and on about how not impressed with The Help I am. But she was good. I guess she's nominatable. I don't think she should win, even though I think she will win. But she was alright. She was about the only one there who wasn't just, being totally goofy the whole movie and kind of playing like they're in a sitcom. I thought Viola Davis actually brought a lot of emotional weight to the movie. That was a pretty light and fluffy, airless movie. Rooney Mara for The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I think it was a really good performance for a movie that probably didn't need a performance that good, honestly. Meryl Streep for The Iron Lady. Sorry, Meryl, you have enough Oscars, and wearing fake teeth and doing a funny British accent is not enough anymore. Michelle Williams for My Week with Marilyn. Haven't seen it. So, I really think it's going to go to Viola Davis. And hopefully that's all The Help we'll get. Because The Help, you're done too. Bridesmaids and The Help, you're done. We're almost done. I'm going to go now to the Best Director category, which now, of course, the Oscars have had to talk about this every year. The Oscars do the more nominations than they used to before, and this year it's even weirder because now, in order to be nominated, you have to have so many votes by the Academy to be nominated. It can have a maximum of 10 and I think a minimum of 5, but it can actually range anywhere in there. So we could have 7, we could have 8, we could have whatever. And this year I think we have 9. I'll count it again once I get there, but I think we have 9, which is, well, why? Like, just go back to 5. Just stop it. Just stop it. This is absurdity. So here, as far as I'm concerned, the 5 nominations for Best Director are the real 5 nominations for Best Picture. And anything that's not in this category is not something that would have been nominated had they not been trying to do whatever the hell they're doing now. So, the nominations for Best Achievement in Directing is Woody Allen for Midnight in Paris, Michael for The Artist, Terrence Malick for Tree of Life, which is interesting because I really thought that Tree of Life was just going to be totally ignored this year. I thought it'd be nominated for Best Cinematography, and then it wouldn't see anything else. But they did actually remember that movie this year, and I'm glad they did because for my money, it's in my top 5 films of the year. Alexander Payne for The Descendants, and Martin Scorsese for Hugo. I think it's going to go to Michael, 14-syllable last name, for The Artist, because I believe that The Artist is going to win Best Picture, and it's usually how this goes. Best Director, Best Picture usually go together. Every once in a while you have a split vote, but not very often. So there you have it. And then I will, just for fun, I suppose, read off what's being nominated this year for Best Picture, and then I'll talk a little bit about snubs. The Artist, The Descendants, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, The Help, Hugo, Midnight in Paris, Moneyball, Tree of Life, and War Horse. It's kind of a weird mix, I think. I think the Oscars is sort of bizarre this year. There's a lot of movies in there that I feel like there's 5 or so that they know they like, and there's a bunch they're like, well, a lot of people went and saw The Help, right? I mean, it's about racism. That's important. I guess we'll nominate that. Hugo, I think, is a more interesting film than necessarily successful as being a movie. I mean, it's good. I liked Hugo, but I'm still kind of struggling on how I feel about Hugo. Midnight in Paris, it's good. It's a good Woody Allen comedy, but it's not really, I think, all that significant. I like the movie. I bought the movie. It's a good movie, but compared to a lot of other older Woody Allen movies, it's not nearly as good. And it's I feel it's basically just a light romantic comedy that has a little bit of a supernatural twist. It would be like, I don't know, nominating Crazy Stupid Love, which is a movie I liked also, but to me they're on the same level. And Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. I'm sorry. I guess I'll go see the movie because it's actually one of these nominated things that's actually playing at my theater. But it looks like Oscar bait. It looks like a really bad Oscar bait, and hopefully it's better than it looks in the trailer, but I have a feeling like I'm a little disappointed that the Oscars took the bait. And War Horse, I guess it was a movie I suspected would be nominated for Best Picture. For some reason, just looking at it now, it still surprises me that it's there. And what surprises me that it's not there, going into Snubs. And a lot of people have already kind of gone on. Facebook is aflame about this. Drive isn't nominated for anything. I knew it wouldn't be nominated for Best Picture, Best Screenplay, or any of that kind of stuff because it's a genre movie and the Oscars are not friendly to genre movies. But I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't see maybe something for Ryan Gosling, maybe something for Albert Brooks. I'm really surprised, actually, because everyone was kind of talking up that as being a nomination. And it didn't happen. Best Cinematography, Best Music, Best Score, none of it got nominated for. Drive was pretty much totally ignored, and I'm a little disappointed in that because that's still my favorite movie of the year, and a lot of people my age who went and saw movies this year really gravitated toward that one. And I think it's an important movie that came out this year that everyone's just trying to ignore, and I don't know why. 50-50, I'm really surprised that, The Help, go away. Put in 50-50. There was a good movie that kind of balanced being a commercial movie, being a comedy, being a drama, and still being something that you can think about at the end of the year. Totally ignored. Completely ignored. And I think the only reason why is because you have Seth Rogen doing the Seth Rogen thing, and the Oscars are probably never going to be really chummy with that. Yet Jonah Hill nominated for Best Supporting Actor, but okay. And there's movies like Shame with Michael Fassbender. I think a lot of critics especially really liked what was going on there, but they're never going to nominate that because it's an NC-17 or unrated movie that deals with really difficult subject matter. And I just feel like, in general, and I'll kind of close with this because this video is running too long as it is, this is just a really safe year, There's nothing here. Even Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, I'm surprised, didn't get more nominations than it did. It got one nomination for Best Adapted Screenplay, and that was it. I'm really surprised that isn't in our Best Picture category. And a lot of the smaller, kind of edgier stuff that came out at the end of the year that a lot of people were really excited about. A lot of people talked up Elizabeth Olsen for Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene. Didn't happen. Yet we have What's-Her-Face for Bridesmaids? Really? So it's kind of a disappointing year. I think The Artist is going to basically sweep it. I think pretty much all the major categories they're nominated for, with the exception of Screenplay and Cinematography. I think they're going to win everything else. So, if you're getting your betting pools or whatever ready, you can pretty much lean on The Artist and pretty much be right every time. But in general, I just think it's a really safe year, and I'm really disappointed with what's going on with the Academy Awards. Last year, I predicted that The Social Network was going to win Best Picture, and it should have won Best Picture, and everyone knows that. But they gave it to The King's Speech, which is a movie that I liked, but I've already forgot everything about it. It was okay. But is anyone really going to go and watch The King's Speech every year? No, they're not. How many people really went out there and bought The King's Speech on DVD? Not that many people. I think they liked it at the time, going into theater and watching it, but ultimately The Social Network was a more important movie. And I feel like, I don't know, The Artist I haven't seen yet, and I suspect it could be an important movie. I like the ambition of what's going on there, and we'll see if my expectations meet with what actually happened. Reviews coming Monday, by the way, from Video Clerks. Me and Christopher going this weekend to go watch all these movies, or a lot of these movies, and be able to talk about them. And I'll tell you then if it's my favorite movie of the year, if it's even cracks my top 5. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You're the subscribers, you're the people out there, you're the YouTube watchers. Put your comments below. Am I off the mark on any of this? Am I being too mean to The Help and Bridesmaids? I don't think I am. But thanks for watching.